Gillsman Stadium here on a Friday night. Beautiful weather. Horrible score, though. Shawnee Wolves lead the Guthrie Blue Jays at the break, 27-0. We welcome you inside the Golden Chick halftime show. Golden Chick, I-35 and Highway 33, one of the top performing stores in the nation. And on Tuesday, they will donate 10% of all their profit and will donate to the Hurricane Harvey victims down in Houston. And the corporate office will match that at our Guthrie store and give it to all the victims of the Hurricane Harvey down in Houston. And we'll segue in, bring in Clay Drake of the leadership team at the Guthrie FFA at Guthrie High School. And you guys have taken on a mission here to get a lot of supplies to a lot of people who need it.
Yeah, we have, Chris. It was kind of one of those deals, you know, Oklahoma's had its share of tragedies, and it seems like everybody always rallies around to help us. And you know, having that Oklahoma spirit, as we like to call it, you know, when this all took place. And I've had a lot of family that live down in the Texas area and kind of monitoring, watching them, especially in the areas that are affected. And so we kind of come together as an officer team and wanted to talk about what could we do. And the FFA kids wanted to jump in and had a few more conversations with our student council advisor, Matt Paring, and then our link crew leader, Angie Simonton. And we all decided, hey, this doesn't need to be an FFA thing. This needs to be a Guthrie school thing. And so the entire high school, we've just put out blanket across the high school. Come out yesterday, got everything cleared and rolled out that, hey, here's what they're needing. So we put out a list of items. We don't want to collect cash. We don't want to handle cash. We're looking to get items. And it's kind of a cool thing for Oklahoma FFA as a whole. There's been a challenge put out to every Oklahoma chapter to rally around, get donations to send down to Texas. There's 2 or 3 different chapters who are loading up their trailers, and they're going to collect items and take them down, kind of represent the FFA from Oklahoma as a whole, so we can be part of this. And
you guys are taking donations all the way to September 7th. A lot of people, it's the weekend, how am I going to do it? But still got plenty of time to get those donations.
Plenty of time. You know, we're out of school Monday, but, you know, come Tuesday, we've had donations already start rolling in today, so that was an awesome thing to, you know, 8 o'clock the bell rings, and people were walking in with sacks and putting them in their hands and everything, and so that's a great thing. And like I said, Thursday, September 7th, and we're going to cut off because the first trailer is leaving out Friday the 8th to roll down that way. And, you know, it's kind of one of these deals of, I mean, the news is covering Houston, and while that's the biggest deal, you know, there's so many outlying towns. You take Beaumont, Texas, for example. They're without water right now, so they're needing a case of water. They had to evacuate the hospital. My wife has family in Sour Lake, Texas. Their entire town is underwater. Their middle school was flooded. The high school had minimal damage around some of their buildings as well as some of the elementaries. But, you know, so there's school systems, and we're getting a lot of people from these towns asking for, you know, new socks, new underwear, backpacks, you know, things like that. You know, we don't ever want to discourage people, but we don't want to donate. You know, this isn't time to clean out your closet. We don't want to do that, you know. People need new stuff if we can, and, you know, things like cleaning supplies. They're going to need lots of cleaning supplies, lots of bottled water, brooms, shovels, you know, bleach, you know, whatever you can kind of do on that wheel, as well as the personal hygiene. You think about, you know, you have no place to go take a shower.
Yeah.
So you have no supplies. You have to leave with just what you had on your back, and so if we can get shampoo in their hand, conditioner and soap and things like that, that's just going to help these people, you know. A little bit of recovery goes a long ways.
You can't forget the infant items as well.
Yes.
The formula, the wipes.
Wipes, yes. That's been another thing that's been come across to us that's very big. Is, you know, diapers, formula, just baby bottles even. You know, they don't even have those to feed the infants with, so they need those kind of things as well.
You said your wife has family down there. What's some things that we don't see? We obviously see the pictures and how horrible they are. You know, and obviously life. You know, people without homes, people without vehicles, animals. I mean, there's animals.
Animals, you know, that's kind of, you know, again, it's kind of a cool thing about, you know, what I call the agricultural spirit. There's been lots of pictures showing that, you know, guys are on horseback, you know, driving cattle, getting cattle to different places. There's been lots of people coming in with their boats, not only to rescue people, but they're going in and rescuing pets that got left behind, or people weren't able to get out of their house, so that people are making that advantage as well. A cool thing that was on the news just recently was what they call themselves the West Texas Air Force, and it's a group of guys, ranchers who have helicopters, and so they have flown all their helicopters out of West Texas, which is about 10 helicopters, to help fly into some of these places that are remote that they can't get in by horseback, and help drive animals out to safe places and then get them corralled. And I know different organizations within Texas, you know, agricultural organizations are helping. I know lots of agriculture organizations here within the state of Oklahoma are also rallying together to either get manpower down there or get supplies such as feed and hay, things that they're going to need for those kind of ventures as well.
Yeah, 4 members of the Guthrie Fire Department are part of the Oklahoma Task Force down there. I saw some videos of them rescuing some animals down out of some homes. People had to make some tough decisions at that time. I live in a place that, in my mind, there was no way ever my house would flood. But you have a situation like this, and you're like, people don't have flood insurance. I don't have flood insurance.
It's kind of one of those deals you go through that it will never affect me until it affects you, and that's kind of what you look at. A lot of those different places. I know when the hurricane first come on land, a lot of places that was flooding that have never had, like you said, never had water issues.
Yeah.
But over 9 trillion of gallons of water have been dumped through this hurricane. And that's what. Kind of like you guys are talking about Niagara Falls. I mean, you think about that quality of water, and there is no place for it to go. There is no place. I was kind of watching today. They showed the time lapse of Houston when this hurricane come across, and there's a 10-hour time lapse, and to watch that water start hitting, and then by the time it was up and over cars, like we talked about earlier, I mean, you can't fathom what you would do in that situation.
Freeways look like the middle of the ocean.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it was surreal for me to watch when you see stoplights underwater.
Yes.
That tells you that's a lot of water right there.
Places getting over 50 inches of rain, where in Oklahoma we get 36 in 12 months.
Yeah. I mean, we've been blessed. This August has been a wet August, but typically, you would never see that. I mean, and that's kind of the same way like where my wife's family is. I mean, this is unreal for them to see the amount of rain they have seen, and really they've seen about half the rain that other places have, but they live in an area that there's no place for that water to run off to. They have no reservoirs to drain it out. They have no bayous to pull it out. They're totally stuck. Matter of fact, they grow rice there, so they have built to pull water in, and so now they're in a situation that they can't get rid of the water they pulled in.
Again, Guthrie High School accepting donations for all the victims on behalf of Hurricane Harvey for Houston and the surrounding areas. I know Guthrie's city manager, Serena Breland, used to be city manager here a couple years ago. She lives in Dickinson, or near the Alvin area, and part of the Houston suburbs. So, it's more than just a Houston event there. But the Guthrie High School accepting donations all the way through September 7th. And for all the details, you can go to GuthrieNewsPage.com. The list of stuff is there. And if you have something in your heart that you want to donate more than that's on that list, I'm sure you're willing to accept them.
We'll take anything. Again, let me stress that we don't want to take cash. It's just that's not for us. If you want to donate money, Red Cross, Salvation Army, those organizations are set up to put that money to use. We just want to put items in people's hands because that's what they need right now. They can't take the cash and do anything with it, but they can sure take the items and do things like that. I was watching news before we come to the game. It's talked about certain residents of Houston have now started being able to get back into their houses, and they were showing pictures of them, going through the cleanup process. And I mean, the amount of furniture that is just piled up alongside the streets, I don't know where you're going to put all that
Trash
stuff.
removal is going to be a headache.
It's going to be a headache, and that was kind of the deal on the newscast of, everybody is, where do we start, and so, they basically have told them, go in your house, start there, pull out everything out, get that stuff out, and then we'll kind of come to. I thought it was very cool this morning, the mayor of Houston come on and said the city is open for business, and I thought that's a
awesome.
Great way to kind of get everybody back on track, get
some positive movement.
Yes, and if you watch anything on this deal, it's been nothing but positive. I think that's another very cool thing that, it's sad it takes tragedies to bring us together like this, but when it happens, it's nice that we've got that to rely on.
Guthrie High School Marching Band wrapping up their halftime performance, playing the fight song, and many people in this area know all about it. And yes, if you're listening in North Central Oklahoma, that is the voice of the wrestling state tournament, Clay Drake. That's a fun deal. I mean, it is.
It's a blast, and what's very cool is right now I'm working on a deal. I've been invited to go to Reno, Nevada in December and announce the Reno tournament champion. So I'm very blessed, and as well as very excited. I've never wrestled a day in my life, but boy, I feel like I'm wrestling whenever I'm calling it. Just, you get into it.
It's fun when you go to different places and you hear the voice, you know where you're at. And you're definitely one of those voices that when you go to the state tournament in the big house, you know where you're at. Clay Drake of the Guthrie High School, appreciate you and the leadership team at the high school trying to help out our victims. That is Clay Drake. We're going to take a time out here on the Golden Chick Halftime Show. Take a look at the first half, stats and numbers, as Craig Fleck rejoins us after this. Halftime score, Shawnee 27, Guthrie 0. This is Blue Jay Football on the Golden Chick Halftime Show.